Actually, the nuclear football actually appears sometime around 1750 or 1850. That's when it actually starts. The nuclear football, or the nuclear silos and nuclear system, the Titan missiles actually start somewhere around 1750 to 1850, somewhere around there. That's when they actually build it, and they actually start setting it up. It is around 1850 or 1840 or something like that, or 1820 about is when they start designing all this network and stuff. And it has to do with all the tunnels and all that other stuff. And so by about uh, 1910 is when it's actually usable, or something like that, or 1920 is when it actually starts to be usable. And it's around, actually. It's been around since 1910 or 1920. So that's when they start planning it. And it starts with aristocrats, goes to the the Republicans, and then the Democrats, and that's basically what they're doing. It's like I say, it starts somewhere around 1750, and then it goes to like 1850, and then it's actually planned and is actually able to be used by 1910. So, anyway, 1920 or so. So anyway, originally it's the brown briefcase that they're always carrying around that's handcuffed to them. And anytime you see a handcuffed briefcase, that's not diamonds, that's a nuclear football. The Irish and the what's called figured out. Anyway, and Nixon's too paranoid. Like he stands in as the it's a Secret Service. He's too paranoid because he knows someone's going to kill the president or the JFK, and he's actually trying to kill him himself. I mean, as far as convoluted take over the world plans, I mean, they're everywhere. And there's even nukes floating around. Like I say, there's that one Russian thing where they're like, "There's a leak, man," and they take out the nuke and they open it up. They put it inside a warehouse and then they take it apart one day. And one guy takes one of the nukes just because, and so he has this nuclear bomb and he actually sets it up to the detonator and he has it riding around in the trunk of his car. And so there's that. And then they take out 26 more other nuclear bombs, nuclear missiles, and all the nuclear missiles are nuclear warheads because they're like 3 to a missile are missing from that one missile. So, and there's all these people going around basically saying, "I'll do it, man. If you arrest me, I'll do it." And like each one of those 15 megaton nuclear bombs can actually take out like a city, or 10 megaton bomb can take out a city easily. Like all of Santa Barbara, just 15 megatons. It's not a lot, but it's a fair amount. And in reference, at the Panama Canal, we were setting off about 1 megaton to 5 megatons at the Panama Canal. I think the biggest one we set off there was a 10 megaton or something like that, or 6 megaton. I didn't want to go that high. I was like, we don't really need that big of a bomb. I mean, we're just breaking rock. We were just atomizing rock, basically. Just, and it was basically to blow a mountain. We had a mountain in our way. We had to move the mountain. There's literally a mountain in our way, and we had to move it. So we used a megaton, and then 2 megatons, and 3 megatons, and we built this great big steel wedge, and we were trying a shape charged nuclear bomb. So there's a giant block and a giant mountain that we dig it down, and we put this big spike at the front of it to like blow the spike into what's called. And the spike mostly, I think they did find a piece of it. There's like a piece about like yay big left or something like that. It's like just like one part of the cone or one of the top parts. They actually piece it back together and actually figure out where the piece came from. And they're like, this much metal vaporized or is gone. Or basically splintered into nothingness. And this little piece at the top right corner basically lived. Anyway, there's a bunch of things that people don't know about the world and the universe. It's like, and that was in 1812 or so. And the Germans have all the science and all that other stuff. But then Nixon and everybody wants to take over, wants to say that America did everything or the United States did everything. They're trying to do this us thing, so they want to say that the United States helped out everyone and did everything. So they go around killing and stealing and taking records, mostly just covering up for what they already did in the past. And messing with, and mostly it's the blacks and everything, Mr. Brown, Mr. Black, and they're just, trying to do this thing where blacks are are tortured and poor souls, and so people won't mind when they take over and get all this money and stuff. And they think that, of course, they can trust a black person. It's like, no, they can't. Anyway, not at all. Not even a little bit. You can't trust not even one of them, really. Like Mr. Black actually like turns the whole race into basically one big killing destruction. Like he'll even kidnap, they send black people to school to get education to get a PhD, and then they go to him and they pay him or they kidnap him. And that's the rest of the black race. That's the leader of the black race, or leader Bloods or whatever. You know, Mr. Pops and some other people in Africa. So anyway, so yeah, so that's what they're doing, and they're basically just doing it, raping as many women. And like I say, they get a whole bunch of women to go over to Africa, and then basically, or they grab them from events, basically saying that they need to take them in for questioning, and then they chain them down and basically chain them in this warehouse, and they basically rape them and just use them as little birthing things. Like 20 women, basically chained down. They feed them and keep them high on drugs, and basically rape them every 9 months. They get raped. And eventually they have 20 or 30 women, or a couple hundred women, that they're continuously raping. Eventually I think they do let them go and give them a little bit of money and stuff like that. Or something like that. But they live in fear their whole life. Anyway, that's like between 1920 and 1940. Anyway, there's all this, like the amount of bad stuff that's going on in the world is just like insanely bad. And I find out about all this stuff, of course, because like I ask, and we take apart the earth practically. Like I'm serious. It would have been a lot worse. We'd all be dead. But I basically have enough money that I'm like, and I have like 4 or 5 different countries like looking at each other, looking at each country to see the problems, to see who's the problem, and to see where the problems are. And like I have 2 other planets that are actually taking part, and even another race that's not human, taking part in trying to figure out what's going on with Earth. So. Because I haven't lost a civilization yet, and Earth would be the first. So, anyway, there's all kinds of stuff going on. And then there are all these idiots going, hey! It's like, wow. I have like practically reordered time and actually literally taken, like at one point I actually told my other groups, I said, if you have to take apart the Earth molecule by molecule, do it. And they do it. They literally take apart the Earth molecule by molecule practically, looking to see where the problems are to fix whatever is wrong. And anyway, so it's a ridiculous amount. Like with 800 galaxies, I could bring a lot of interest to bear on the Earth. And they actually say, you should have died, but you just had too many people on your side, or too many people looking into it. So, So anyway, so this ridiculous amount of effort is spent on Earth. Anyway, yeah. So anyway. That's what LS can do. That's not what you can do for LS, but that's not what LS can do for you, but ask what you can do for LS. Lucifer Star. Or LC. Lucifer Ceramics or Lucifer Combat. Because, of course, we had to defend ourselves. So, and I always do defense. I'm always big on defense. Every race has to do some sort of defense. So, I just don't normally have this many problems with a planet or with a race. Like Earth was like, oh, damn. Like all I want to do is build and make movies and change existence. Like I literally changed existence here with Earth. I mean, stores never existed before. Shopping malls never existed before. Vacations never existed before. I mean, not like this. And tourism. That's a new thing as well. Nobody really does tourism in the past. Like with Earth and everything and the human race, I brought tourism into existence. And like history and documentation of history. Like I do like 7 or 17 or 77 epic